there's just like, you know, so many people. Like we were talking about with like the wages too, you know, like oh, you're not going to work for $50 like this guy will. And this guy who's like, you know, collecting his pension and he's like 65 and does nothing all day, he'll work for free.
Yeah.
You know?
Doing undercover comedy when I was fire commissioner, because I was like worried that if I went public, people would be like, "Oh my God, he said what about the Jews?" Oh my God. When you become like a man, like your tattoo becomes like, you know, that rite of passage, and I feel like. Oh, hello, I'm Rob White, and welcome to yet another episode of Who the F is Rob White, the podcast where I tattoo and talk with stand-up comics. My guest today, Mr. Hugh Murray.
Yes.
Hugh, tell us what you're up to, what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm Hugh Murray. I've been a comedian for 13 years? 13 years now? 14 years. You know, I'm a podcast host currently right now with my co-host Travis Grant called Treading Water Podcast. You can look us up. Me on social medias is at The Logic. And, you know, I'm also an operating engineer. And, you know, that's pretty much it.
Got a little diverse background going on there. That's fun.
Yeah.
We are tattooing an hourglass with the heart turning into sand or the sand turning into a heart. Either kind of way that you look at it, an idea that you'd come up with. And
this is where the pain begins.
Yeah, this is where the pain begins. This is, it's always weird because I'm used to, keep talking about how I'm using these like rotary machines now that they don't make any noise.
Oh, yeah. I didn't.
But if the camera picks it up or not, I don't know. Today, usually we were in the shop and there's nobody here, but today I got my other employee, tattoo artist, Carly Cranjack back there making noise with her loud-ass machine, which I generally prefer. I prefer those machines.
Yeah.
Better, but, you know,
I don't know the difference.
Well, because it hurts no matter what. It's not gonna not hurt. I mean, if it didn't hurt, it would be cool. But I feel like tattoos are supposed to be painful.
Yeah.
I feel like if they're not, they're sort of like wrong.
Right.
You know? I don't know. How do you explain it? Like, I feel like it's, you know, like a not a birthright. What the hell's the word for it? Yeah, rite of passage. That's what I'm saying. When you become like a man, like your tattoo becomes like, you know, that rite of passage, and I feel like...
Yeah, I think that was one of the first things I did when I like turned 18 was I got a tattoo.
Yeah, it's...
I got a big piece on my left arm, kind of in like the same spot of a Celtic cross with the Boondock Saints prayer.
Oh, the Boondocks. Yeah, that was a great... It's a great movie.
It's not really like the Boondock Saints. It's, you know, just in nomine Patri, Filii,
Oh, the Latin, yeah.
Latin, in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. But, you know, I was watching Boondock Saints a lot back then.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. You definitely grew up in an Irish household, so that's how that goes. It's like, it was like suddenly the Boondock Saints came out and it made being... like Irish cool in that weird kind of way, you know, like same with like The Godfather and like Goodfellas. Every Italian kid was like, "Yo, my uncle, you know, he might do a thing." You know, that's how Irish kids got with the Boondock Saints.
There's a lot of Italian movies. We don't have that many. We got like Boondock, and then like the Westies. I don't know if I forgot what the movie was called. State of Grace.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Movie. It's based on the Westies, which was an old Irish gang in New York City. It's like a true story that like they were the gang that the Italians would hire to like kill people. Yeah,
to do all their dirty work and stuff. You know? The Irish mob is a funny one because it was such like the beginnings of the actual mob. You know, like the real mob really was the Irish like mob in New York City, like gangs in New York and all that. And then as time went on, you know, it became more of the Italian mafia, but like it was originally all Irish, you know.
Right.
And then I was like talking to the Italian kids, and they'd just be like, "Oh yeah, well of course there's, you know, no more Irish mob because the fucking Irish." And I'm like, no, there's no more Irish mob because the Irish guys that were in the mob all became politicians.
Right.
They pretty much became the president, you know, the presidents of the country and things of that nature.
Yeah.
You know, JFK and
You come away from it eventually, you know, you become a real citizen. And
well, my thing I always say is the Italians don't have a president, right?
Yeah, right.
That's right. They had Mayor Giuliani. That was the closest you got.
Yeah. Not very close.
Yeah, it's like, there you go. There's your president.
Yeah. Do you still get tattoos?
Yeah, I recently got an eagle tattoo. We actually did it on the show, which was kind of cool because I don't have any like visible, like crazy visible tattoos. Now I got the eagle on there, so it's like, oh, see here, eat shit. Everyone's giving me crap about it though, like, you don't have any visible tattoos, you don't know what you're doing. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, I don't understand that, you know?
Yeah, I was at a petting zoo today, and apparently they have a comedian.
Wait, what? Oh, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Rewind that back. So, wait a minute, why?
I saw...
You were at the petting zoo for?
Well, my girlfriend, she's got 3 kids.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I'm like, I didn't think you had kids. No. And I was like...
No.
I mean, that might be the romantic thing to do. Like, let's go pet a llama. I don't know.
Pick up divorcees at the petting zoo.
Let's go down here and see what... So, it was what petting zoo was this?
Is in Melville? Like White
Post Farms?
White Post, yeah.
Oh, shit. Wait a minute. You know who used to work there was Rich Walker.
Oh, really?
Rich Walker used to do, like, and I think Chris Roach, too. They used to do, like, unless I'm confusing it, they used to do some kind of thing where they did comedy, like, but they didn't do comedy. It was like kids comedy kind of thing. They dressed up as like a cowboy or something. So wait, what happened?
I don't know. I just saw like a flyer or like, you know, like a stand that said like magic and comedy show, and it was just like this white guy with suspenders and a bow tie, you know.
Was it Stevie GB? Stevie GB wears that.
Yeah.
That could be him.
It does. Yeah, it could be.
That would be. Oh, who the hell was it? How did you not?
I don't know.
How did you not go?
I saw the guy as we were leaving, but again, like, yeah, he was just like taking tickets, and I guess he might put on some show for children or something. I was like, maybe I could do like a tight 10.
That's what I'm so greedy that I would have been like, yo, who books the comic at the farm? Like, first of all, you gotta juggle, and you gotta wear like a spinny. Fucking one of them yarmulkes with the little propeller on top, like wah, wah, wah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I got it. I'm doing it. I'm doing magic and comedy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, my girlfriend's got kids. I don't have them. They're starting to break me.
They
you have kids?
No, I hate that shit.
Yeah.
Like, if other people do, it's cool. For me, I'm just like, we don't need any more of me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of a fucking lunatic in my own way. It was
like, you know, I spent the money going to the petting zoo, and like the kid didn't want to pet any animals. He was like scared. He's like 5, you know.
Oh, okay,
He's about to be 6, you know. And he didn't want to do any of like the stuff that's designed there. He wanted to either play in the playground, which we could have did for free, like down the block from my house, or
bastard.
He wanted to play games on his mom's phone. And I'm like, why did we drive like 25 minutes?
Jesus.
Pay like $100 for 3 tickets. It's like, I'm 38. I don't need to go to a petting zoo.
Yeah, you think about like, what are these kids doing? I loved that kind of crap when I was a kid.
Kids are like scared. Like, my sister's got kids too, and like her kids are scared of everything. Like, my girlfriend's kids are scared of everything. They don't want to pet animals. They don't want to go on roller coasters. I was like, what do you guys do all day?
When I was a kid, like, we couldn't wait to like break our arm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's all you did.
Like, I literally wanted to break my arm because I saw other kids with a cast. Yeah. And everyone signed their cast, and I'd be like, oh man, that's sick. I want to.
And they got like special treatment.
Yo, look at that. He had to fucking ride on the elevator and shit because he broke his leg. And I wanted to like get out there and do. And the only way you could do that was by like jumping out of a tree with your BMX bike on a dirt ramp or something.
Yeah, I hurt my leg in football in high school.
Yep,
and
did that.
So I got a wheelchair. They were pushing me around in a wheelchair.
Oh yeah.
And so someone would take me from class to class, and we would get the elevator, and like some kid would have to leave class early to push me. It was like the cool thing.
You get your buddy that you hang out with, and you push me over here. We can smoke cigarettes real quick.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go to the bathroom, smoke a bud, and then go to class.
Yeah, these kids now, it's like, what? I didn't want to be in the house. I didn't want to be. Like, if I was at the petting zoo, okay, whatever. I guess when you're 5, it's a little different. I'm guessing I'm a little older with what I'm thinking about, but...
Yeah, you know, it's weird, too, because, like, you know, parents have changed with, like, the helicopter parents. So, like, you don't see as many kids just, like, riding bikes around town. Like, they're older now, the kids that, like, do that. You know?
It's...
Because, like, my girl's got, like 5th graders, and I'm like, why don't they just like take their bikes out with their friends? And she's like, are you kidding? And I'm like, I don't know, I used to do that. Like,
I see it in my neighborhood, but like it's a weird kind of thing because the kids that are out there playing in the neighborhood like we used to, like playing basketball and like hockey in the streets, like it's this house down the block from me, and I know like they're like the Christian house,
right?
And I'm like, that's a weird kind of conundrum.
Yeah,
it's like, I'm glad you're all out in the streets, but at the same time, like, you're not going to ride down to the park and do illegal activities and shit like I would have done. Like, you're like just out there having a good, like, fun Christian day, and it's like...
I feel like, like the illegal activities kind of start, like, later, like, middle school, you know, or it's just like, you know, one of your friends finds, like, a joint, or, like, you know, somehow you steal, like a 6-pack from someone's dad that's an alcoholic.
That was my entry. Yeah, it was fun. I found a whole bunch of leftover beer from my dad. Used to have a boxing night at the house where everybody come over and watch like the Tyson fights and shit like that. And guess like what UFC is now, and they had a whole bunch of leftover, and I was like, oh shit! Remember that tree house we built in the park?
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden the treehouse is cool again. It wasn't cool for a little while because you're like, But you're like, now we can smoke and drink there.
Yeah. Well, I used to have this sump by my house, so that was where we would go into like this sump, and it was creepy, and it had like a tunnel and like graffiti everywhere.
Yeah, and, like, now I know exactly what that looks like in my head. I'm like, oh.
Weird kids would just go there and like break bottles and light fires.
That was what it was all about. Like, we just couldn't wait to get the fuck out of the house, just to go down there. And I found like the weirdest age or like the coolest age was like right around like 13, you know?
Yeah.
Because you were in that half stage where you're like, I kind of want to go and like get ice cream off the ice cream man and maybe play Legos, but I also want to like try to like kiss girls and smoke cigarettes. Yeah. So weird. You could like end your day by trying to drink a beer, but the beginning of your day was having like an Eggo waffle. You know? Right. So all over the place.
Yeah, like, you know, I'm 38, so like I'm about to be, you know, May 14th, and you know, like the video games got a lot better when I was a kid. You know,
they did.
So like we could like spend a day in playing video games, which was cool. But like, I feel like around 13, when like, you know, the school dances were starting and the girls were like, you know, you're actually noticing girls.
Right,
it was like you wanted to go out more.
Yeah, you were like, I'm gonna go and hang out this summer in so-and-so's pool. Like, you know, just because there's a chance that some girl you knew in the neighborhood was going to come there in that outfit, you know. It's just all, it's all about that.
That one girl that everybody knew.
Everybody had that.
Yeah.
But now I feel like that doesn't really exist in the same way because, like, everything's right there.
No, but, you know, like I said, like, you know, my girl's kids, 5th grade, they got cell phones, man. Yeah. Like, they're learning, like, I don't know if it's unrestricted access they have, you know, but like, kids
they're
find
gonna figure
a way
it out.
around it, you know, like that. And like, I guess the people the kids look up to are like assholes too now, you know.
Well, yeah, because
like they're cursing more and they're more provocative, you know.
I mean, we had our asshole role models, but like they were like our secret role models. Like you weren't publicly out there. allowed to be the way that they were, you know?
Yeah, but like, you know, things were also like hidden. Like, you know, you didn't find out LT smoked crack till later.
Yeah, that's true. Know? Yeah.
Like, you know, they tried to hide Mickey Mantle's alcoholism.
No, this is
FDR's
true.
legs.
Yeah, they were like, let's just pretend he's a good person. Yeah, I mean, JFK was fucking everything under the sun. He was a horrible man whore, but he was, you know, there's a picture of him on your grandma's wall, like, JFK was the greatest president ever.
Right next to Jesus.
Yeah. Well, if you grew up in that Irish household like we did, it was, the Italians had like Sinatra next to Jesus. I don't know, someone has a joke about that.
Someone does, yeah.
Someone has a joke about that. But it's true. It's true. Who does have that joke? And the Irish had like, JFK next to
I don't know if it's
picture
a local
of like the
guy
Pope.
or like a famous guy.
No, I feel like it's a local dude. I feel like it's like Jack Adam or something. Like I feel like it's.
Yeah, really.
I don't know. Well, write it in the comments.
Tim Gage got a lot of good jokes on the Kennedys.
Tim Gage. Yep.
But yeah, man, it was just like, I don't know, things have changed, you know. Now, like, you just go on Twitter and you see Drake's dick.
Yeah, right.
You know?
What the fuck's going on? Yeah, you used to have to, like, really try to see any kind of anything. That's why I feel like everybody stopped playing video games when I was a kid. Like, you got to a certain point where you're just like, all right, there's nobody is getting blown by watching it. You're not going to play...
Yeah.
I don't give a shit how fucking fast Sonic the Hedgehog is. He's not getting blown.
Exactly.
Know?
That's like, I like Terry's joke, you know. It's like, then I discovered pussy and beer, you know.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of what it was. But he says it with, like, sports, which is like, I use sports as an outlet to get pussy and beer.
Well, that's just it. Yeah, because you look at your sports idols and you were like, okay, this guy was getting it done. Like, all right, so it wasn't like... it wasn't like video games where we were younger. It was like, you're a nerd, bro.
I know.
No one's the video game. And then all of a sudden, like overnight, that changed. Skateboarding was like that in the beginning, though. Everyone's like, skateboarders are fucking nerds. And then, you know, Tony Hawk and all that shit. It was like, oh, maybe not.
Right.
Maybe, look at him having a wonderful life just by skateboarding around, you know?
And this is what bothers me is like, the people, you know, like my era, like, there's dudes that, like, concentrated their whole life on video games, and they're, like, millionaires now. Like, cracking, like, billionaire, you know? Like, you talk about, like, these guys like Ninja or, like, Nick Merckx. You might have not heard of them. But, you know, they, like, these streamers are just getting so much money that, like, I wish I would have not listened to my dad and I'm not joining the football team. Like, I'm gonna play Halo professionally when I grow up.
Just that, even to think that that's a fucking job.
Like, that's what
do you do?
Well, like,
play video games and other people watch me for tips. Like,
yeah, there's like tournaments and stuff, but like it turns more into like the entertainment. Like, these guys, like I watched this guy like Nick Merckx, you know, a couple times because I used to have a podcast with, you know, speaking of Tim Thompson, and his friend Matt Quinn, and we used to play, you know, video games and podcast a little bit, and it was a fun time. You know, we used to try to pair a video game with an alcohol. It was a cool concept.
That's a Tim Thompson thing to do.
Yeah, it was his idea.
Guinness and playing fucking
so like
Resident Evil.
We drank like beer out of martini glasses and played like James Bond GoldenEye and wore like tuxedo t-shirts for like the first episode.
What? This is so good.
Yeah, it was like
how did this not work?
It you know, we just couldn't get the fan base there. But, you know, so I started trying to research what other streamers were doing, and, like, I saw, like, how much these guys pull in, you know? And it's like they pull in, like, as much as, like, the big podcast guys, like, on Patreon. And, like, now, like, what's happening is, like, hot girls are doing it, and it's just, like, they're just going to erase the funny guys that are doing it, you know, like you can kind of get like your porn and your video games from the same spot, and like if they're somewhat funny, Like these people are making like
Funny
$150,000 a month.
Yeah. And then why not? Yeah, it's like, yeah, I can see that. Cause like, you know what? She's not that funny, but if I send her $5, they'll send me like a half a nipple picture
like
or some damn thing.
Pics or something.
Half a nipple picture.
Yeah. So like, it's like I wasted all my time like playing lacrosse and football in high school. It's like I could have just kept playing video games.
Yeah.
And maybe been somebody.
Oh, you're over there still? I hear the little laugh. Oh, lacrosse.
You know, like the OnlyFans girls too. They're pulling in the same amount of cash.
It's crazy. These are jobs.
I saw the one girl. You probably saw the headlines where she was an OnlyFans girl. She worked as a teacher. She got fired, and she just tweeted like 2 days ago, like, I just bought my dream house. Thank you to whoever ratted me out. Like she's just selling booby pics. She's making hundreds of thousands of dollars.
It's sometimes
like, what are you gonna make 68 grand as a fucking teacher?
It's all about the moment. Like it's all about that. Like if you can turn a moment into an event where
Well, you know what happened is like with her or someone else. Like I think there was like a cop that got fired. Like
that female cop that was banging everyone in the department.
Oh no, she's busted. I wouldn't pay for her. Yeah. Oh my gosh,
somebody's paying for this. You understand?
Yeah,
that you could literally.
There's someone for everybody. Yeah,
you could stick a deaf blind mutant in there, and they'll be like, "I'll walk off to it."
Yeah, but like like when the papers get a hold of it, and then they post the girl's picture in the paper, everybody's like, "Oh, let me go check this out," and they definitely get like an influx of cash. But it's like teachers are being paid shit. She's just like, I was doing what I loved, and I couldn't make ends meet, so I was posing nude against my better judgment to try to feed myself. Like this is I'm making this story up.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, no.
I'm
you know what? I really want to work in the inner city with the youth of America.
Yeah.
I want to try to teach math to these little.
They try to do the right thing, and then someone rats them out. And then it's just like, this is inappropriate, you're fired. And she's just like, okay, now I make $3.2 million a year.
Oh man, that's how you make it. Like, we need controversy in order to make it. That's what it is. You know what? It's so stupid. Like, I was an elected official. I was a fire commissioner, which is one of those jobs that nobody knows about. Like, nobody gives a shit. Like, what's a fire commissioner?
Yeah.
But I was so scared during, because I started like doing undercover comedy when I was fire commissioner, because I was like worried that if I went public, people would be like, "Oh my God, he said what about the Jews? Oh my God, it's it." Right. It'd be in some kind of weird. He gets thrown out of office, but who gives a shit? I'll still get like a
then
cool
you get you take over for Conan or something.
Oh, imagine that would be sweet. Nah, it never goes that far.
Yeah.
You want to be in like, you know what? You probably get as far as like the Bagel Boss. Remember that?
Oh yeah, that guy.
That was a pretty mainstream thing. That wasn't just Long Island, but it started on Long Island.
But if you can keep it going, you know how to hold that momentum. That's the key.
Keep the dream alive,
Yeah. But that's what a lot of people try to do with stand-up, like, you like reality stars, or I see football players, Mick Foley tried it, like their 5 minutes or 15 minutes or whatever the fucking cliche is up, and then they're like, well, I'm going to go be a comedian now, and then they suck horribly. Yeah,
that's always really upsetting, because I feel like it's not given any respect to the the craft of comedy, because like, remember John Mayer when he tried to do it for like half a minute, and then he was like,
singer John Mayer?
Yeah, John Mayer did. He was. I remember, because I was going to see shows in my 20s, and he was down at the Comedy Cellar.
Oh God!
And like, that's my goal. Like, that's my end goal, like dream place.
Yeah.
Rob gets to perform at the Comedy Cellar, and Bill, whatever his name is, fucking John Mayer was just like, hold on, let me go real quick down here.
Just pop up real quick.
I know Chappelle, guys.
Yeah, I dated Taylor Swift.
It's fucking ridiculous. Really, he dated Taylor Swift too?
No, who'd he date? He dated one of them.
Taylor Swift, come on, really? Can we just be honest about that? Can we stop? Can we stop saying how amazing this girl? Look, she seems like a nice, like a number, she's like a 6 in Ohio. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I would give you a 6 or 7. She doesn't have like that body, you know.
No, she could be like queen of she could be like butter queen at like the Kentucky State Fair. Do you understand? You know, it's not a bad thing. Like she makes some corrections officer that lives in the sticks really happy when he comes home at night and there's meatloaf.
Right.
But let's stop with this whole action that she's like this hot.
At this point, I would date her for her money, and that's about it. You know, like she's been ran through. Like she's got like porn star body count.
She's got city miles on her, you know what I mean? She's like, you know how the milk expires earlier in New York City than it does on like that's somewhere in there. Maybe I lost that one, but
No, I like the city miles. That was good.
She's it's not the same.
Yeah.
But remember, she's like America's sweetheart. I
know.
What? What happened to Sandra Bullock? Wasn't she America's sweetheart?
Yeah, Sandy.
Yeah, not anymore. Not anymore.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift, yeah. People get ape shit on the Taylor stuff too, though.
Yeah, no, her fans are rabid.
Right. I mean, for what though?
I don't know.
For what?
I don't know. She's got like a couple catchy songs, you know, but like I couldn't name any of them.
No, I've seen.
But like she's like not even putting out CDs anymore. She's like putting out movies of CDs or something.
What?
Like. She put out, it was like a Taylor Swift movie of a concert because like it was just so sold out or something like that, and like just, you know, everybody was going to the movies to watch a Taylor Swift concert, and like
that's so stupid.
Yeah, I just like saw on Facebook like this week or something like that. There was like viewing parties for like the Taylor Swift CD or something like that, or like a concert that she was doing. You know, like she's just like transcended, like, you know, putting out music.
It's weird. Celebrity world, the celebridom, whatever you want to call it, is so strange now.
Yeah.
That's what I do in comedy. It's like, you know, people, what are you going to do to make it? Like, what? I don't even know. I don't even know what's going to happen. Like, the invention of the podcast, this thing wasn't even a real thing, 20 years ago?
Yeah,
how long ago? But when podcasts weren't even.
People were definitely doing like I had a podcast like before I knew what like a podcast was really. You know, I had like an MMA one before I started comedy, and like we were getting like, you know, like 1,000 downloads a month or whatever.
Yeah, but what year was that even? Like
it's got to be like 2009, 2010.
2009, 2010. So yeah, I'm 43, 13. Did I do the math on that right? 13 years ago?
14, 15, something like that.
So about 25 years ago, I feel like the first podcasts I remember, at least in the comedy world, were Mark Maron.
Mark Maron, yeah. It was huge.
And,
he had like
and then Rogan came along.
Yeah. Mark Maron was huge at the time. He was like doing it out of his garage.
Yeah, completely ahead of the curve, you know?
Yeah, and then like Rogan kind of like perfected it.
Yeah, I mean, it was, you know, I've heard people explain it was like the way when you watch like Opie and Anthony in the beginning, you know, how they were very just loose on the radio. There wasn't that whole, you know, hi, it's me, and blah. It was just like, hey guys, we're here, or we're talking to so-and-so today. And that's kind of how all podcasts kind of started, which was refreshing because it was like, I don't feel like this guy's trying to sell me on, you know. It was like everything, it had been that way forever. Just even going back to like the original television shows, the original, you know, vaudeville hour on TV with, you know, it was like the Colgate Comedy Hour. It's like they were trying to be funny, but also buy toothpaste, you know? Yeah. And that's how radio kind of turned into that too. It was like, hey, we're funny shock jocks, but buy this product, buy these tickets. And I feel like once they got to like Opie and Anthony and then to podcasting, where it was just kind of like,
and it's like
dudes hanging out.
Podcasting is just like so diluted too now, but it's just like, if you're a comedian, like it's just, why not have one? You know, like you need to be putting out like content like almost every day to try to keep up with like these TikTokers that are, you know, and these TikTokers are getting spots at comedy clubs, you know?
Isn't that fucking gross?
Yeah, it really is.
I don't understand it because it's a totally different art form. You know, like, I don't know how to do the TikTok the way that these guys are doing it. You know,
No.
it's just the fact the way I said that right there shows that I don't know what the fuck. I don't know how to do the TikTokity tickety talk.
It's like the Facebook.
Like these kids with their Instagram posts and shit. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. All right, I don't. But I do know what I'm doing on stage.
Yeah.
So how come that doesn't count for anything?
Yeah, there was this TikToker that I went and saw. Keegan was on the show, and he like took me to like go meet the booker, and like I got like a spot, and I did like very well, and then like Keegan went and he did very well, and then like the TikToker went up, and you know he was supposed to do like an hour, and he like begged the guy, he's like, I can't do an hour, he's like, I can only do about 35-40 minutes, and then like when I saw it, like he couldn't do that much, you know, it was like a lot of crowd work, and they weren't paying attention to him, and they didn't really like him, so he was like not doing well, and I was like, hey man, if you need someone to help you like write, like I think you're a funny guy, and like you know you're likable, like, but I could help you like write jokes. And he just like blew me off, like, who the fuck are you, like, you did a 5-minute spot on my show, you know, like I have 1 million followers on TikTok, and it's just like, yo, but you're gonna be bad at this for a long time. Like, you've been doing comedy for like 1.5 years, and you're already headlining. Like, people are gonna stop booking you.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
But they do. They just immediately find these people, and they're like, "How'd you like to do our club?" And you know, there's no homegrown talent anymore. I feel like that's not like a thing anymore. Nobody's interested, at least the clubs aren't really interested in like development anymore, you know?
Yeah.
It used to kind of be that way though, I think, maybe I'm wrong, but it felt like it used to be, okay, we're a comedy club and, you know, we found this new guy and we're going to keep putting him up and trying him out and fostering him along so that he can become the next Eddie Murphy or the next, you know.
It's very rare that someone gets that. You know, very rare. It's like you'd hope there's like kind of like a lot of people that get that, but it's just it's rare, you know. And like you got to be like likable and like on time and presentable and not like drunk, and you know, it's just like a lot of things will like rule you out of that, which is like. In the beginning, when I started comedy, I was like, I felt like I was getting that, and then I just took like a 180.
It just completely changed everything.
Yeah.
Comedy's a weird, ever-changing business.
Yeah.
I still love it.
And it's just like, you know, so many people. Like we were talking about with like the wages too, you know, like oh, you're not going to work for $50, like this guy will. And this guy who's like, you know, collecting his pension, and he's like 65 and does nothing all day, he'll work for free.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like that's annoying too. There's a lot of hobbyists that are there. You know, they could just kind of, who says that? Someone calls them hobbyists. Someone had that term. I still haven't said it.
No, that's what they are.
But it's true. It's like, it's just like, what do you do? Like, well, you know, retired, like you said, from the Postal Service. I don't know what to do with myself. Can't stay around the house. Lorraine's going to be pissed. Like, well, you have to come here and steal our spot because I actually wrote this week.
I took a class, and, you know, I talk about my wife and my kids. And
if anything, I think that's why I kind of hate kids more, is because the number of comics that are just like, you know what having kids is like? I'm like, no, I don't. Because I wear condoms, okay? That's why.
Yeah, I got a solid pull-out game.
I have a stairwell in my house, okay? So, you know.
Wow. Plan B doesn't cost that much.
Honey, I think I'm pregnant. Oh, you're go look down the stairs real quick.
Yeah.
Womp, 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 womp.
Just Plan B smoothies every morning.
What's this? Don't worry, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It tastes like medicine.
Just, yeah. You think that comedy nowadays is just changing in the same way that, like, it was changing for the vaudeville era, and we're just being crusty at times? Like, you know, and you're like, well, look at this guy. He doesn't know how to sing and dance. He doesn't do a ventriloquist act. And you're just like, yeah, but...
He can't even, you know, drink a glass of water while the puppet talks.
Yeah. And, you know, and you're like, well, yeah, nobody needs to fucking do that anymore.
I mean, comedy's definitely changed since I started, you know.
He doesn't have any TikTok videos that's why we're, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like I think it's changing again, and I don't know in which direction, but I'm also, not in my 20s anymore, so it's like I'm less malleable, like I don't bend as easy.
You talking about like physical comedy? What the fuck's going on?
No, just like
Oh, I thought you were gonna do some like some Kramer bullshit.
Yeah, I'm not like Richard Simmons.
No, I know what you mean though. It's
just like like
reinventing yourself.
I was able to like recreate a set after like comedy changed, where like after cancel culture started, and it's just like it's hard to like try to recreate yourself every 5-10 years to like pander.
Yeah, no, of course. But you have to be, like, to what you are. And here's the thing that's kind of cool about comedy is, like, you'd be like, oh, my God, well, the young kids don't get me. Well, that's fucking awesome. I don't want them to necessarily get me.
Right. I feel like I actually do better
something.
with, like, younger audiences. The boomers don't get me.
Well, no, yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, it's like...
I'm waiting on them to die.
You see, like, the teeny bopper comics that love it's so fucking evil. They are kind of frustrating. Right?
I'll get a house too. It's like that's my parents' generation.
Shit. I'm just waiting on a house.
Like some kind of inheritance. But like, yeah, like
we're doing Red in the Heart, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you forget in the middle of this that we're actually tattooing. It's like, oh yeah,
yeah.
Gotta put some more shades and grays and stuff in there. Yeah, I don't want to appeal to everybody. I get that.
You
like,
can't, like there's just...
It would be nice, but no, if everybody shared my sense of humor, I feel like it would ruin, like, what I would feel was funny.
Right.
Like...
Because you got to talk about someone, right?
Yeah.
Like some kind of things that are happening.
I love talking shit. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. I enjoy that the most. I actually think that the most fun for being a comic is when you're riding to the show with like 2 or even 3 other comics in there and you're just talking massive amounts of shit.
Right, yeah.
and I used to feel bad, but now I don't.
Everybody does it.
But it's not even like, sometimes you're talking shit about people that are actually like, they're okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But somehow it's like, you know what, I can see it from this perspective too.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, no. Especially if they get something that I don't have.
Oh, yeah, like who's opening up at this club or who's, Yeah, that's the way.
Yeah, no, that's a lot of fun, like going on the road, I haven't been on the road in a while because, like, my job is kind of demanding. And, like, I'd have to take, like, vacation days and stuff. And, I really just, there's no one bringing me on the road, I'm not a headliner yet, and I know that, like, there's other people that are just delusional that are like, I'm a year and a half into comedy, I'm a headliner, like, I'm, like, 14 years in, and like, I know, like, I really am not, because a headliner is also a draw. Like I can do the time.
Well, they should be a draw.
Yeah.
Because I thought that for a long time too. But then I started realizing at the clubs on the weekends when they have a lot of these like guys, they're just giving away tickets.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, I could sell out a show too if you gave away 40 tickets. Like, what is that? But no, you're right. It should be a draw. It should be, we're here to see this guy, not just,
because like years ago, like, Vic DiVitetto was getting like weekends canceled, because like no one was buying tickets, and then he went viral, and like that's kind of what pushed him into a real headliner. Was like now he's selling out rooms,
It's cool that he went viral at his age now. How old is he?
I don't know.
He's definitely he older than us, and he's been at it for a long time. But it's cool because it's like, oh, here's a guy that shouldn't know the technology, shouldn't know how to go viral, shouldn't know how to do any of this shit, and then suddenly it's like, here's your video.
And it was like just like a silly 10-second video too,
Red, right? We're doing Red in the Heart?
Yeah.
I'm making sure. Okay. Yeah, it was. It was a rant about buying like milk and bread during the snowstorm, which is like, it's not, I'm gonna be honest, it's not that original.
No.
But you did it. He fucking did it.
Did it. And it was a silly little video, and I heard he made $50,000 off that video.
I could see
just from YouTube, like alone.
Yeah. It's like it's not even like I'm not shitting on him in any way, but it's clearly it's like what. It's like an Italian guy, right? And he's complaining about shit in his car. I'm like, what?
I love that too. Like the comedians that do their podcasts or like their videos and TikToks from their car. It's like you don't say that in the house because a wife's gonna hit you, right? I think that I get more into the conspiracy theories about like aliens.
Yeah, of course.
Stuff like that, and it's just like. The amount of shit that's out there, like all these conspiracy theories, like I feel like it's almost at to the point where like stuff gets released there, and then it's just like everyone gets to just play it off like, no, these are nut jobs talking about it, I want to know what % of it is right.
Or like a warm up almost, like okay, well they're not ready for this yet, but let's just keep floating it in front of their eyes so that when we do go, okay, aliens are real, we're like, oh.
Right.
Oh, do they look like you look exactly like what we've been showing you and telling you wasn't real?
That's what the idiot from Blink-182 has been saying.
Yeah, that guy. Ain't that crazy? Yeah. That in our lifetime, the guy that's responsible for exposing aliens is the dude from Blink-182.
I know, the guy that makes like music about small dicks and like sitting on bikes with no seats and stuff like that's his lyrics.
My whole life I believed in conspiracy theories, and if you told me like back in high school, okay, in the future this is what's gonna happen, and I'd be like, the dude from Blink-182 would be like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, like I started trying to read like his books thinking like it was like the secret to everything, and like it's not. It's not.
It's
like
just
he just
stupid shit.
Yeah. But like, his what he did come out and say is like that's what they do is like they just keep coming out with like movies about a certain thing, and then like it kind of like subconsciously gets into you. Like I did notice it with like certain types of war movies and stuff where it's just like who's the villain, like when Russia's always the villain, like that's like the propaganda shit. And then it's just like when you see who's next, and it was like the Muslims, and then it's like for a while I started seeing a lot of shit about like Albanians.
Well, enough of that. We are actually done. We are in there.
Yeah.
So go check it on out. It's gonna settle in and lighten up and gray out and all that kind of stuff. And all right, sir. Well, so ends another episode of Who the Fuck is Rob White?
Hell yeah.
Again, I'm Rob White.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Absolutely, Hugh.
Appreciate
Absolutely.
Follow me, at Treading Water Podcast on social media, at The Logic social media, and that's it. I'll be posting about any comedy shows and podcasts coming out. So.
Excellent. And again, like, share, subscribe, write stuff in the comments. Any questions you got, put them down there because we like to entertain people and fight you in the comments. It's fun. So
I'll fight you back.
Yeah, it's good.
Is